All right, Field Manual number 2118, Headquarters Department of the Army, Washington, D.C., June 1990. Foot marches, distribution restriction, approved for public release. Distribution is unlimited. The publication exceeds Field Manual 2118, January 29th, 1971. All right, preface, introduction to foot marches, historical examples, fundamentals, march mission, classification of movements, type of marches. Chapter 2, factors affecting foot marches, tactical consideration, effective weather and terrain, march discipline, water discipline, accumulation procedure, morale, individual load, movement and plan for marches, planning, time, distance, and determined factors, march computations, road movement table, strip map. Chapter 4, execution of foot marches, conduct of marches, organization of march, security reaction to enemy attack, communication halts according to effect, distance between units, numerical, nuclear, biological, chemical, personal duties, company commander, company executive officer, company first sergeant, platoon leader, platoon sergeant, platoon squad leader, company medical administrator, company medical aid man, guides, road guard, pace setter. Section 3, special march operation, limited visibility march for force marches. Chapter 5, soldiers load management and training for foot marches, transportation responsibility, size of company loads, expeditions for extra transportation, factors affecting soldiers' load, physical limitations, stress, munitions and equipment, echelon and load tailoring, combat load tailoring, combat load, MEETTT, echelon for the soldier's load, minimum load concept, training, unit characteristic, physical condition, nutrition, tactical training, leader training, sustainment, integrated training, environmental training, march discipline. Appendix A, unit standing operation procedure for foot marches. Appendix B, example of the battalion road movement order. Appendix C, foot care. Appendix D, assembly areas, glossary, reference, index. Alright, this preface. This manual is guided by the commander of their staff with the procedure technique for the foot march, described with the march mission, characteristics, type of the foot marches, march training, including planning the procedure duties for the commander, march discipline, and march hygiene, march safety. Material herein apply with all levels of conflict with the modification. The manual is for use with other field manuals where modification of foot marches, procedures, techniques for specific regions of the world is required. Details concerning operation in desert, jungle, northern, mountain areas are contained. Field Manual 93, 95, and 31, 71, and 96. Respective tactical foot marches are discussed in Field Manual 710 and 720. Provisions of this publication are subject to following integration agreement. Stagnant 2154. Regulation of military mode vehicle movement by road. When amendment, revision, cancellation manual is proposed, which will violate international agreement concerned with the preparing activity, appropriate reconciliation act through the international standard channels is to include the Department of Standardization Officer. The company is used herein and can also mean battery and troop. The proponent of this public is headquarters at TRADOC. Submit the change improving publication of the DA Form 2028. Recommended change of publication blank forms for the Commandment, U.S. Army Infantry School of AATSH ATD, Fort Benning, Georgia 319055410. Unless otherwise stated, whenever the masculine gender is used, both men and women are included. Chapter 1, Foot Marches. Introduction. Foot Marches. Foot marches are movements of troops' equipment mainly by foot and limited to support vehicles. They are characterized by the combat arena, easy control, adaptability to terrain, slow rate movement, increased personnel fatigue. Foot marches do not depend on existing roads. Historical example. Many examples of successful marches exist through the history of warfare. A good example of successful marches occurred during the World War II and a grueling foot march during the Sicilian campaign from 20 to 21 January 1943. 3rd Battalion, 30th Infantry Regiment, 3rd Infantry Division performed this march. The battalion was directed to move 1 foot across the mountains from the Aragon to San Stefano to enter the coordinated attack enemy sources. San Stefano, the battalion made the record-breaking 45-mile cross-country mark in only 33 hours. Due to the continuous marching 2 hours our arrival, the battalion was committed with an attack San Stefano, which resulted in its capture. Second example of the movement of large elements for the 3rd and U.S. Army during the Battle of the Ardennes in 1944. It stops. The enemy counter offensive on December 16, 1944, while the 3rd U.S. Army preparing to attack Singfield Line with Germany, the Battle of the Bulge commenced in 19th December. The Germany attack had reached such a large proportion of the 3rd U.S. Army was directed to cease attack to the east and turn to the north. The 3rd U.S. Army shifted its troops through the salutary Saarbrücken area with Luxembourg, Belgium area, a distance of 100 road miles. The 3 corps launched the new attack at 600 hours and the 20th of December 1944, sorry. Alright, the size of the operation indicated with the statistic 8 division was moved with the eastern and northern sector. The 2 division was brought from the rear. The shifted about 250,000 men and 25,000 vehicles. Until moved distance varying about from 50 to 150 miles from 18th to 31st of December 1944. Trucks. The 3rd U.S. Army traveled a total of 1,254,042 miles from September 17th to 23rd of December 1944. Nearly 42,000 tons of supply moved in the north. In the same week, 7 traffic control stations are unchecked through the 133,178 vehicles. The weather was damp and cold. The ground was covered with snow and ice. However, the foot soldiers marched in, countering and trucking from the detrucking location for the near battle areas. 2. This device movement its entire army as possible, since smaller units could move themselves. The units of the 3rd Division Unit U.S. Army was well trained in movement. The standard operation procedure explanation. Experience tables had been tested and proved that the job was placed upon them. They succeeded, knowing the importance of the combat readiness. 1-2 fundamental. The troop movement of the transportation troops of one place for the available domains inherent with all the military operations. Successful movement places the troops and equipment in the destination with the proper time ready for combat. Troop movement is conducted with by foot or motor marches, by rail or air, or by water, or various combinations of these methods. Detailed plans are required for the effective troop movement. However, the units must be notified early, and depending on the move will allow the effective planning. Successful troop movement also depends on the effective control units during the movement. This control is also accomplished with a chain of command and proper supervision and organization of this force. 1-3 March missions. A successful foot march is troop arrive at the destination for the prescribed time, and they are physically able to execute the tactical mission. Troops must execute the mission immediately upon completing the foot march. Normally, they're done through the condition of accumulation of the troops to the area operations. This includes physiological and psychological adjustment of the individual soldier. Commands must ensure the amount of mountain type of the equipment carried, rate of the march, length of the number of the rest equates, and the physical endurance of the men. Good planning and the accompanying leadership are required to move the troops to the right place at the right time. Commanders also ensure the troops are given good condition to accomplish the mission. Alright, 1-4 classification movements. Troop movement with the tactical administrative group. Both the classifications are the most of the movements are one and normally dominant. Tactical movements are conducted within the combat zones to emphasize tactical considerations on security. The use of the combat-ready formation re-emphasize the efficiency, easy movement, anticipate the ground contact enemy route, and arriving at the destination. Movements may be conducted on unsecured routes if there are no friendly forces between the foremost elements of the moving force and the enemy. Figure 1-1. Movements. Zone of the interior administrative moves, tactical movement, communicate comments, combat zone at 1x, 2x, 3x, LD and LC maneuver, contact, tactical. When readying the combat zone, the unit will conduct the tactical movement motor division of the corps rear of the curve of the hostility, beginning with the forward defense, and has to be accomplished. Speed is vital. Security requirement is minimal. Units must move by tactical motor marches and assembly where they are prepared to conduct combat operations. During tactical movement, the commander must be prepared to maneuver against any enemy force. Once a unit is deployed and assigned with the zone of the detector is normally moving, use of the proper techniques assigned with the mission. The context is made tactical movements become maneuvers. Administrative movements of the conducted within the COMZ zone of the interior. They emphasize the best method of movement and re-emphasize the tactical standardization. Administrative movements are based on the likely ground contact with the enemy, but being remote with both any with around soon arrival in the destination. Normal contact over the secure routes and friendly forces are between the foremost elements of the moving force of the enemy. When conducting administrative movements, they should maintain integrity, practice security techniques pertaining to tactical road marches. 1.5. Type of the marches. Each type has its own purpose and application that is discussed in common in both administrative and tactical marches. Day marches. In an absence of any threat in the day, marches are preferred to permit the faster movement and less tiring for the troops. They are characterized with dispersed formations, easy control, reconnaissance, and increase with the vulnerability to any observation and air attack. Limited visibility marches. Limited visibility marches are characterized as close formations, direct difficult command of the control of the recognized slow rate of the march and the good concealment of the hostile observation and air attack. Night marches are exploit darkness to gain surprise and help units and move in extreme heat common to day marches. Control of the march requires the detailed planning and stringent control measure through the training and march-like communication disciplines. If concealment is required, movement before the dark is restricted with small detachments. All of the march should be completed with daybreak with the troops in concealed positions. When the movement is near the enemy, the noise suppression must be considered. The concealed operation from the enemy must be to prevent him from gaining information about the march, measuring, maintaining security. They must be enforced. The use of the navigation aids, such as ground surveillance, radar, thermal sights, night vision devices, can prevent many of the many command and control problems encountered during the movements. Alright, 2. Limited visibility marches must be carefully planned. They include the countering of routes, assembly areas, special precautions of the ensure the direction, contact with the column, therefore guide the formation are needed. Forced marches. Forced marches require speed, exertion of more hours march than normally accomplished by increasing march hours from each of the day rather than the rate of the march. Forced marches are employed only when they are needed since they decrease effect of the unit's troops should be told the reason for the forced march to ensure the maximum effort. Alright, shuttle marches. Shuttle marches an alternate riding march with the troop movement that normally due to the lack of enough vehicles to carry the entire unit. Shuttle marches require transferring troops, equipment, and supply of a series of round trips with the same vehicles as can be performed by hauling a load entire distance and then returning to another, and it may be performed by carrying successive parts of the load for a short distance while remaining parts will continue on afoot. Alright, Chapter 2, Factoring Factors of Foot Marches.